Now, if you look at satisfaction with
Okay.
the government's response, it's a different question. Sorry. Um, Trump is definitely falling. Republicans think he's doing a great job, of course. Like we expect that. But in Democrats, and they never give him the benefit of the doubt, right? That's always been at 95% disapproval. But what we've seen is that independents are definitely starting to sour on Trump. So their numbers are going down.
Uh-huh.
And conversely, in almost every state except Georgia, notably, people are happy with their local response. And it doesn't matter if the governor is Democratic or Republican. So you have a Republican governor in Massachusetts and a Republican governor in Maryland, which are very, very blue states. People are overwhelmingly favorable towards those governors. And then you look in Kentucky and Louisiana, they have Democratic governors, in the red states. Again, people are overwhelmingly supportive of those governors. So it's only Trump, and this is, so it means something, right? So it's not people are anti-government or the government sucks, is they're realizing that Trump abandoned them to the states. They're happy with their state performance, except in Georgia, and Florida is 50-50. But everywhere else where governors have actually taken this seriously, people are actually really appreciative of that. So the erosion in Trump's numbers, and it's slight, like numbers don't change very much, right? They've spent 3 years defending Trump. They're not going to go like, you were right, liberals. He is. There's a slight erosion, but it's real amongst 65 and older Americans. And that's really, really, really notable because it is the most reliable voting demographic. And that is essentially the core Republican base. And we're talking a slippage of, we had Trump winning 65 and under and over by about 13 points at one point. It's down to 5 points.
Wow.
So it is a real erosion, and we're seeing it nationwide. We're seeing it in the battleground states. And if you look at the battleground states, and every time we talk, I'll talk about them, right? Because they're important. The states that will decide the presidential election are Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Michigan, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. 7 states. Doesn't mean other states don't matter because there's governor races and Senate races. But if we win Iowa, we already won those other 7 states. And if Trump wins Minnesota, he has already won those other 7 states, right? So those are the 7 states: Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Michigan, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. Right now, Joe Biden is leading in 6 of those 7, and he is only losing Georgia by 2 points, according to our numbers. In fact, we just released a poll of North Carolina on Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday. That didn't just have Biden winning North Carolina 49-46, looking really good to win the state. 49-46 is basically what Obama got in 2008 in North Carolina. But in the Senate race, we're winning 50-41. That's a Republican seat that we would pick up. So Democrats are looking really, really solid, and a big piece of that puzzle is the response to the coronavirus. And right now we're at 72,000, or as of yesterday, we were at what, 73,000 and change. Obviously that number's going up by about 2,000 a day. So we're already higher than that. And now we're talking about, by August 1st, we should be in the low 100,000s. That is absolutely insane. So this approval with Trump is already rising. The Republicans have signaled that they don't care about vulnerable white people for the first time. They've always signaled they don't care about vulnerable Black people and Latinos and Asians. They don't care, right? Native Americans. Suddenly they're saying we don't care about vulnerable white people. And that is going to have an effect. We're starting to see that with those white seniors starting to move in the Democrats' direction. And I haven't seen anything that suggests that Republicans are realizing they're in trouble and that maybe they should stop talking about sacrificing our old people for the stock market.
Last demographic I want to ask, let me do 2 things. Since you did mention the states, the battleground states, we know that some of us in the African-American base are disproportionately dying in these states, Markos.
Yes.
So one of the things that concerns me is where in 2016, it was less than a margin of 100,000 votes that affected 3 states. You got Black folk dying disproportionately, especially in Wisconsin, Michigan. We don't know all the numbers elsewhere, but we can probably hypothesize it's pretty bad everywhere. I mean, that makes me a little nervous when it comes to those numbers in November. The more of us who die, and that's just African Americans, not to mention when nobody's keeping track of how many, non-Trump voters overall are dying. But I mean, this could, and part of that suggests to me that's why he doesn't give a damn either. Because he's kind of hoping all these deaths, some of the people are going to die who voted for him, but some of the people who are going to vote against him died too. So that's probably why he doesn't care.
Yeah. I mean, this is a very crass political question with numbers, and I don't really want us to lose the humanity of it all. It is true that Blacks, and now we're starting to find Latinos in some of these meat packing plants and poultry plants, right, are disproportionately affected. Absolutely. Raw numbers, more white people are dying. As a percentage of the population, I mean, we're talking if what did I see in I think it was Indiana, where the Black population of Indiana is like 18% or 15%, and it was like 25% of deaths were Black. So yeah, disproportionately it's affecting us. And you're right, this is why Trump doesn't care, and he's decided like, we're good, we're moving on.
Right.
More white people are dying if we were gonna play that horrible game. But more than that, I think maybe I don't say more importantly, but what's happening is that those numbers are shifting. So in Wisconsin, as of 3 weeks ago, it was something like 20% of the counties most affected were Trump counties. So it's 80-20, because it was Milwaukee, it was Dane County, right? It was where you expected where Black people live. And again, in some places where you had some of these poultry meat packing plants where a lot of Latinos are also being affected. So as of a couple of days ago, Wisconsin's now 50-50. So red counties and blue counties. So it's shifting because you're seeing that in New York, right? You had at one point, you had almost 900 people dying a day. Now we're down to the low 200s, right? Blue states and Democrats and liberals realize how dangerous this is and are taking it seriously. Now you have these dumbass Trump supporters doing their stupid rallies without masks, no social distancing. They converge on state capitals, they do their little stupid rally, and then they go back to their counties carrying this freaking virus. And what that's happening is that virus is now spreading in red counties at much greater percentages than in red counties. And we have a lot of months between now and November. So what's going to be happening, and what is happening, we're seeing this right now, is that the fastest growth in COVID cases is in red counties. Now, I do want to caution that a lot of those red counties have prisons, and prisons are being disproportionately affected. A lot of those red counties have poultry plants and meat packing plants. So that's a lot of Latinos are being affected as well. But they are starting, because they're not taking this seriously, because they think it's some kind of anti-Trump hoax, because they think this is a New York City problem and a New Orleans problem and a California problem, they're not taking this as seriously. And what that means is that we have, and there's always, several weeks lag, right? But you're gonna see more and more of these states starting to get hit in the weeks ahead. I mean, counties, these red counties going to get hit. So from a calculus, it's an ugly calculus. But I think even if we see, I can't even predict at this point. I thought 100,000 was the worst case scenario back when we started talking about this in February. We were talking about it early. I thought 100,000 was like a crazy possibility. We're going to blow by 100,000 in weeks probably. So this is going to be like nothing. And but the raw numbers aren't enough to really be shifting elections, probably.
Okay.
I mean, maybe in a Florida, it's less about people dropping dead, and it's more about people's families going like, did grandma need to die?
Mm.
Or did my 37-year-old otherwise healthy son need to die? Or did my neighbor need to die? Or did my hairdresser need to die? Or did it's that sense of I mean 9/11 what killed 3,000, yet it affected an entire country, right? Because there's that emotional connection to people.
Right.
And this is what I think is politically damaging. And it's the messaging. It's people wearing around signs. There's this sign that was floating around in a Tennessee pro-COVID rally. I mean, there are pro-COVID rallies at this point, right? So it's a Tennessee pro-COVID rally that said "Sacrifice the weak, open up Tennessee." And it is that message that seniors don't matter, and why don't you die and get out of the way because my stock portfolio is taking a hit. That is going to have more of an effect in the election. If we're already starting to see those numbers erode, and again, we're talking 5 points among seniors, right? But if we're starting to see that now at 70,000 dead, what's going to happen when in the fall we may be at 250,000 dead?
Yeah.
Right? Because we got a second wave coming. It's going to happen. And for viewers and listeners who don't know, the problem with the second wave isn't COVID itself. It's that you have the flu, which already kills 30, 40,000 people a year on top of COVID, and you're not going to have hospital beds, because that is the biggest factor in a survival rate. So unless a vaccine comes, and it ain't going to come by November, if it arrives by some miracle, the first people that are going to get that vaccine are going to be first responders and medical personnel. The ability to get that into the general population is going to take a while. You may have better treatments, but you still need hospital beds.
Yeah.
So you're going to have the flu, you're going to have COVID on top of that, and you're going to have people that are so frustrated that haven't been locked up for so long that they're going to really start slipping on the social distancing thing. And Mark, I feel it with my kids. Like, why don't I do a play date? And the kids can stay 10 feet apart, and that's okay, right? And I want to do it because they're so desperate for social interaction with their friends. And it's like I had to fight it. And we're only like, 7 weeks in?
Yeah.
I mean, what happens in October?
Yeah.